I think it's working. Okay, so I wanted to pop in here today and talk a little bit about what you can do when you're kind of new in the game and how to start growing your audience. And this is a really important one because we have a lot of people, both, just in the world in general, but a lot of people are starting businesses or they're starting to grow into different spaces and things like that. So I want to talk a little bit about, how do you go about doing that? How do you go about getting the word, getting your content, your services, your ideas, your point of view, your values, all of that stuff out there a little bit further when you're new and you don't have much of an audience. So I'm going to tell you what I believe to be the best and most cost-effective way to do this. And it might make you a little nervous. This usually gets people going into a cold sweat. And the answer is Facebook Live. You guys, Facebook Live. It's so very good for all of these things. Now let's talk about why Facebook Live is a winning strategy. So Facebook already loves its live platform. And that means that we're kind of rewarded by using it because they push those posts out further, meaning that, I think the last metric I saw was the Facebook Lives actually show up in your post or shown in your newsfeed like 6 times more often than the regular post, right? Like just a text post or an image or something like that. And that's just straight up organic. So that's without funding it with an ad. So that's a really important thing to think about. If I were you, and this is what I do too, but if I were you, I would be trying to squeeze every, available opportunity out of my dollars when I'm going to go use them and of my time and energy, because if I'm creating these types of content, I would love for them to get out further and further. So that's the first thing. The second thing is video is just incredibly powerful as a way to connect with your most ideal audience. You're putting your face out there, you're putting your personality out there in a way that you just cannot get across in a boring old blog post. Not to say your blog posts are boring, guys, but you know what I mean. There's definitely some personality aspects of things that, the tone of your voice and how you inflect things and just your style of teaching, your personality in general. I think it's really important to give people a taste of who you are well before you're engaging with them about a product of some sort. The platform is also easy, and you can definitely get super fancy with an at-home studio, but there is just no need to. You really can start with your computer or your phone and a great light source, meaning the sun. Once you learn how to kind of work through all of that, you're going to have great content. You don't need to have a fancy setup. You can always add fancy later after you get going. It's also very casual. There's no expectation of like a super slick, massively produced output, right? So you can literally just grab your phone, sit down and talk to your audience. And I think there's something really special about that because, again, it's a little bit more casual. It's a little bit more informal. It feels friendlier to me, and it's easier. Like I don't have to think about saying the right thing ever so perfectly and editing things later. Just go with it. You really have to practice this to get really comfortable with it, of course, but it's a casual way to get going. And it also doesn't matter, guys, if no one comes on live, right? And sometimes it's better if you don't have anybody there because you get a little nervous. But if you think about it, do it for the replay. And then lastly, you can take those live videos and you can amplify them with ads. You can push them out there into your defined ideal audience. And that's wonderful about combining the Facebook Live power and ads. Because I don't know about you, but I have a fairly small following on my Facebook page. And a lot of people are not my ideal customer. They're friends or family that have been following me for a long time. And they just kind of want to know what I'm up to on the internet. But if you really want to reach out and touch your ideal person, your most ideal audience, then this is a great way to get started. Now, I know that Pret had some questions about this, and I'm going to check in the group really quick. And for those of you who are not in our Do Your Own Dang marketing group, I will put the link to that down below because I want to make sure if you have any questions that you can get them answered. Did you guys know that we do a live Q&A every week? This is it. So submit your questions in advance and I can answer them and talk a little bit about them. Okay, perfect. No questions. I just wanted to make sure if that brought up any feelings or any thoughts about what it might look like to set up a regular rhythm of going live. You can kind of think of it as your own little show, right? So it's instead of a podcast weekly, it's a live show weekly. And I really encourage you to do it at the same time and day every week and have it just be a regular thing that your audience gets used to. Promote those ads with a few dollars. It doesn't have to be a big thing, but create a video views ad and send that thing out there to your most ideal audience. Couple bucks a day, all of a sudden you're going to see your audiences grow, 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 and you're going to get more engagement, which is also going to help reduce your ad costs. So there's a lovely little cycle that goes along with all of that. So drop any questions that you might have in the comments below, and I'd be happy to chat with you about that. And again, I will hook up the group. So if you're not in it yet, I want to make sure you get on over there. Okay. All right, guys. It's so great to see you, and let me know how I can assist. All right. Talk to you later.